Hi there and welcome back to FM8tutorials.com. This is the first video in a series of videos about making percussive sounds using FM8, and we're going to start today by making a hi-hat loop sequence. And we're going to be focusing quite heavily on this tutorial just about sort of programming our own customized envelopes in FM8 to make that kind of hi-hat sequence. So let's start by creating a new sound, get the sound together, and then look at the envelopes. So let's go to the operator section, and we're just going to be using E, F and X, the operators here, so let's turn them on. So X is the noise operator, and Z as well, which is the filter. So everything's going to route through the filter as well for this sound. So X we can route in at about the volume is about 66. Obviously route the filter to the output as well, full volume 100. And F is going to, rather than route straight into the filter, we're going to route that through the noise operator. So basically that's going to be fed through the noise operator for kind of extra gritty sound. And I'm going to feed E into F around about 53, 54, and also E straight to the filter around about 43. And we won't get much noise until we start messing around with this amp here, so I can turn that up. Turn the cutoff up. Push the resonance up a bit as well. Right then, so what we'll do with the operators E and F, I'm just going to keep them as sine waves, key sync them so we get a nice consistent sound, and turn operator F to 0.5, keep E at 1, and I mean it's a hi-hat sequence, but I added these operators in to just give it a bit more of a sort of tonal kind of element to the sound really. So can distort these operators a bit more here, feed F into itself at around 24 and E into itself about 23, and then Z or the filter can feed back into E about 12 or 13. So let's go over to the master section now and just increase the voices to 4. Take the detune down to 0, keep the pan at 0, everything else can stay the same. Right then, go ahead and set the filter up before we set the envelopes. So we can just push the cutoff up to 100 at filter 1, pull the resonance down to around quarter of the way, so it's about 16, keep the mode on low pass. For filter 2, turn the spread down to 0, pull the resonance right down, just about 8, and the mode can just be just a little bit away from the low pass. So we're getting a lot more of that noise come through now, we've increased that cutoff over there. Yeah, I can keep the routing pretty much the same, and just push the envelope amount up to 100. Right then, so next thing to do really is set these envelopes and make it sound a bit more like a hi-hat loop. At the moment it's just a sort of sustained noise. So let's start off by linking all the envelopes together because we want the same envelope shape on all of these sounds. So didn't need to do A, B and C because we're not using those operators, or D, but yeah, X and Z can link all of these, tempo sync them all, and make sure we turn the mode to SLD on whichever, most importantly it's whichever envelope we're going to be editing, but might as well do it for all of them. So we can start off by creating the 4-bit loop pattern and edit this. Basically it's a good starting point, it's tempo synced, but we want to edit a bit more, customize it a little bit. So I start off by, if I hit Control and click a few times here, I get a few extra pointers from adding some extra envelope shapes. So I'll do that here and here, and basically just in between all of these points. Do one over there as well, and then zoom in, and I kind of want the point, I want to make another one of these but around here on the 1/16. So so when I said to set the envelopes to SLD, you want to set them all to fixed. That's my mistake, because otherwise the end point will move around as you move these envelope kind of pointers, and will take the loop out of sync. So make sure it's on fix. Alright then, so we want this point to be just here, just before the 1 on the 1/16, and we can pull some of this sustain on these pointers down, or decay, so they're a bit tighter. We're just getting quite a nice sort of pattern there already. Do a similar thing here just before the 3, and just make it quite plucky again. So if it's percussive, you don't really want any sustain going on. So and do the same thing here with this extra, these pointers we put in just before the 5. And for this last point, make it a bit more like a reverse kind of shape, which I suppose when I made this sound I thought you could try and like mimicking kind of like an open hat at the end of the loop, really. So something like that. And you can play with these to taste, really. You could add a bit more sort of decay, make them a bit more tighter and a bit more plucky, percussive. So yeah, the next thing to do really is set up some effects on the sound. So move over to the effects section, and because it's a hi-hat loop, I was going to take some of the bottom end of the sound off using the shelving EQ and just pulling that bottom end so there's not too much sort of low end in the sound. Push the volume of this up a bit. Add some reverb next, and just pull the time down and push the brightness and treble up a little bit, and the dry wet down to around about a quarter of the way. So quite a subtle reverb, and also some sight delay just to kind of add a bit more groove with the sound, really. Make sure it's synced, and the only other thing to do is just pull the dry wet down to around 10. And that's our sound. I mean, because we set all this, we set the filter up and the envelope and stuff, we can sort of tweak this if we wanted to. You know, just for something to automate kind of a nice hi-hat kind of sequence in a sound or something, but in its normal state, it's just quite a solid kind of hi-hat loop, really. So there you have it. I hope you found that useful. I hope that's given you some pointers into how to make your own kind of percussive loops inside FM8. So yeah, any questions then please get in touch, and thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Cheers, bye.